So this is a big mistake and a big reason why a lot of YouTube ad campaigns don't work. A lot of people always want to know about, hey, how do I target this audience? How do I get this going? So on and so forth. And we like to sit down as marketers sometimes and believe we can market anything. But there is something to the effect of really knowing your customer and really knowing if what you're offering is something that's needed. So this video is more to talk about the offer more than anything else. You can have crappy targeting, not even know what you're doing, but if your offer is amazing, your ads are likely to work. Most of the times, a lot of people don't want to have this ego check, but the offer is just not good enough. So I'm going to identify certain topics as to what you can fix and what you can look at your offer before you even start considering using YouTube ads. The first thing is you really want to do some research. Is your offer in demand? Is this really something that people want? Is this something that people may not know that they want, but they need? Would it be helpful? The first thing you can look at is things of yourself. Like, if your offer would help someone like you, okay, cool. But is this something that would help hundreds of people, thousands of people, things of that nature? If it's so specific that it's just something that's relevant to such a small segment, then YouTube ads may not be it for that offer. You have to work on that. Really test that demand and see if that's something that makes sense to put out there. The next thing is you really want to work on your pricing structure. I know the natural inclination is to say, hey, the cheaper the price, the better off it is. However, you're gonna realize that you start commoditizing yourself. If your advantage is price, then really you better have a very, very broad offer, and you better have something in the works in the back end to really make that back up. For YouTube ads, relative, especially if you compare it to Facebook ads, YouTube ads is gonna be more expensive. That's just what it is. Having said that, the scalability is there and the quality is there. So your question should be is, okay, how do I set it in a way where I have high profit margins? The higher your profit margins, then the more likely your ads are going to work, because you're not going to be finagling between, hey, I'm getting $3 CPCs versus $1 CPC. Once you start playing that game, you have a game that has the end in sight. Like, you know, okay, you may be able to get $1.50 clicks for a while. What's gonna happen is eventually once your spend reaches a certain level, it's not gonna continue that way. So the way you protect yourself is by having an offer that has better pricing. By better pricing, I mean higher pricing. Obviously, if you're gonna bring higher pricing, you have to bring the quality behind it, but that's very important when you're structuring your offer. The next thing in your offer is you wanna have your funnel set up properly. Now, I'll mention the most popular funnels that I've seen work on YouTube ads. From in e-com, when you're looking at e-com, you can't just have video and just go to a product page. That could work for a while, but realistically is your product page really has to continue the story that you're going along with ads. I've said this before with YouTube ads in particular. You're either selling the click, so you're taking people along to the next step, or you're selling everything in the ad itself, and by the time they get to the page, they're ready to go. They're ready to buy. There's just some things you want to put in reinforcing, but they're ready to buy. I like going with the selling with the click because I want to get as many people to my page as possible. You're selling the story and everything in the ad itself. It tends to be more expensive. Not all the time, but it tends to be more expensive. Having said that, your landing page really just can't be product, add to cart. You really have to have testimonials. If you can have a VSL, rates, if you can have something that really has social proof, fantastic. But you really want to continue telling a story. For other types of funnels, a webinar type funnel, you really want to have a compelling landing page that'll get people into the webinar. That landing page conversion rate is very important. I've seen people with landing page conversion rates as low as, I don't know, 8%, 5%, then they're getting $50, $60 leads and they're asking, what's the problem? The problem is your landing page, for whatever reason, may not be congruent with your ad, or is just in general is not good. I would say on the low end, 70% you can get away with that, especially if you're going with a webinar funnel. But once again, if the webinar funnel doesn't have a high enough price, which I mentioned earlier, then that won't work out either. And high enough price, I mean minimum 1,000, ideally 1,500 plus for the product that you're selling. And ideally, I think what works best with offers for YouTube ads is anything that's a high ticket that you book a call. When you're booking a call, these high ticket funnels, I'm talking about $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000, $30,000 products. You can sell this on YouTube ads, amazingly enough, but a lot of people are not aware of that. And when you have a book call funnel, that can work. Your numbers is the same concept. You want to have a great landing page conversion rate from when someone gets there, they fill out their email address, and once you're taking out the next step, you need a certain percentage of those people, usually 8 to 12% of the people that sign up, to book that call. If those metrics are not working, unless your product is like a $100,000 product, it's just not going to work in the long term. And once you fix those things, you realize YouTube ads can work very well, can work profitably. We're not talking about spending $100 a day. We're talking about spending $1,000 a day, $5,000 a day, $10,000, and in some cases, 50K plus per day. This is a realistic thing. People do it all the time. Once again, really look at it. Is my offer good enough? Really ask yourself, ask people that are close to you that will be honest to you. Do not think, hey, so-and-so is running drop shipping and getting $10 CPAs across the board on Facebook and they're spending $5 a day. I'm just gonna put that over to YouTube. It's not gonna work that way. That's not really an offer. So really give that thought. And once you give that thought and you can hit those certain parameters, you have high enough pricing, you realize your product is in demand, and you realize your funnel is set up properly, then you're more likely to have success in YouTube ads. If you wanna check out more things for free, check out our channel. We have a lot of videos, a lot of content. If you really want something streamlined, straight to the point, really find out, hey, how do I go from A to Z in X amount of time? Feel free to click on the link and book a call with us and see if our course is for you.